You received a call from an inmate at the Department of Corrections. This call will be recorded and monitored. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now. To accept this call, press 5 now. To decline this call, hang up.
Well, hello, Miss Kiki. How are you? No, I'm not going to complain. It's been a beautiful day, and I'm able to get some exercise and relax and definitely keep an open communication with a lot of the folks that are locked up. Oh yeah, definitely. You're one of my top priorities. Let's put it that way. But you're doing well. You're staying out of trouble. Yeah, yeah. I've heard from your family. They're very impressed with the work that you're doing. My main goal is just to see to it that you get out and never go back. Quit for good. Good, good. Yeah, and share that with other people in there. Let folks know that things are so much better when you're out. And as rough as things get, there's no reason to be selling drugs and stealing, cheating. Uh, yeah, yeah, that's true. So each bit of positivity helps. Oh, yes, I am so proud of her. She graduated cosmetology school. So she's going to be one of those. Okay. All right. Yeah, I've heard a few people that's taking classes like that in there. I know track is doing well because they would like to get women into construction. It's not a lot of them. Right. Yeah. So, yeah, a flagger, they they do well out here, and I've known a few that had that as a goal. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So there are a lot of companies out there, and I'm glad there are definitely good employers that will hire people that have a record. And so getting work may take a little bit, but it's worth it. And plus, you're an inspiration because Marianne having that cosmetology degree, she can pretty much work anywhere. She's free to roam, and it's a good start. And it's all based on word of mouth. I would say once she gets out there and shows what she can do, the rest will follow. Yep. Yeah, we'll definitely follow up on that. That's 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 a definite. But she's not the only one that's doing really well out here. We have one that is the first female manager at her employer, and she was like a press operator before that. So she's in a field that's dominated by men, and I think that's the best way to show gender equality is to do a job that men dominate, to show that these stereotypes that women can't do it are gone. Can you imagine walking into that office and seeing pictures of managers and it's just male, 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 male? And you kind of wonder why. And it could be because women just aren't applying, or it could just be that they were overlooked, maybe discrimination.
You have 60 seconds
But
remaining.
yeah, she's a good inspiration. And so I'm happy for her. And then we have others that are gainfully employed. I constantly look at the local jail roster, and when I see a name that I'm familiar with, it disappoints me. But I reach out to them and we work. And usually when the person's locked up, that's when I have my most communication. But after that, they're gone. No, for me, no news is good news. I really, if I help 100 people and all of them are constantly in contact with me, it would be overwhelming.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
Right. I just need the people that have the biggest need. And I think their problem is that there's nobody to reach out to. There's nobody there for them. And if they're out working and they know that if they fail, there's somebody that they could reach out to. And that's what I want to do. It is. It's very simple. It's not a lot to it. And I hope when you get out, you can do the same thing. Just be a mentor. Just be there. Listen to them. Right. Yeah. If anybody would know, it'd be you.
Thank you for using inmate call. Goodbye.
Well, hello. Welcome to AQS Inmate Call. And I am your host, Joel Wilborn. And in this episode, I just want to talk about the success. Not everything dealing with incarceration is negative. There are a few things that just kind of stand out. And recently, Marianne Atkins graduated from cosmetology. And she's looking forward to getting out and working in that field, establishing a reputation, and getting a regular client base. And whether she decides to start a business of her own or partner up with somebody else or just work for another person, I think she'll do well. She's got good drive, good motivation. She's a hard worker, and she believes in herself. And I know when I first met her a few years ago, it was quite different. She didn't really believe in herself, and she just was constantly getting in trouble. Mainly fights, but she's doing well. And I know I was talking to another formerly incarcerated person who's doing well as well. And she's not doing those fancy jobs, making tons of money, but she's staying out of trouble. She's fighting the fight. And I don't expect people to be perfect. And so even if she were to stumble and get arrested for something, it's not a bad thing, because she has been out longer than she has in her life, and she's just 23 years old. And I know I was talking to her, and she was smoking, and we were doing this video conference. So I told her, "You're pregnant and you're smoking. Don't you think that's going to hurt your baby?" And she said, "Well, it didn't hurt the others." But I was a little concerned, It's just like it costs a lot of money, and you're spending all this money on something that harms you. It's like paying somebody to stab you in the foot or something. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I suggested that she quit smoking. And I guess she thought about it and decided she wanted to do that. And she would post on Facebook. It's been 3 days, been a week. And then she did a video conference with me, and she said, I've quit smoking. And I suggested that she quit doing marijuana as well. And she said, well, actually, I didn't suggest that she do it. I just said she should cut back on it. She'd not do it while she was pregnant. But she said she was considering quitting that as well. And that was something I expected to hear from her. And so she asked me if I was proud of her. And I said, well, yeah, of course I am. She said, well, you didn't post anything. And that's something that I would get used to saying to folks. But on occasion, my mind would just kind of slip away, or I'd be preoccupied and I just wouldn't say it. So with Cammie, I went onto my Facebook channel and I made a video where there's a little poem praising her for all that she's overcome. And of course she likes it and her friends like it, and it was passed around, and that's what I want. I want her to know, forever how long this stays on YouTube, that I'm proud of her and that her work isn't going unknown. And for me, it's easy to compliment folks because I've got something to compliment. I don't have to look at them and say, well, your hair looks nice today. It's, you quit smoking, quit doing drugs, quit going to prison. Folks that stay out for a year And I've had some that stayed out for several years. I'm ecstatic. The one lady, she's down in Portland. She is doing super fantastic at her job. She was looking forward to promotions, and she would set a goal and she would thrive for it, and she would reach it, and then she'd set a new one. And I don't think she's going to stop at manager. She may very well become the president or vice president of that company, or she might wind up owning the company. She might wind up starting her own company. I see that potential in her, and it just goes to show that that's what she wanted to do. Because when I would visit her in prison, I would just ask about her history and what got her into the mess. And she was saying that she was working a lot. She was doing a lot of work because her family didn't give her all the support that she was looking for, so she could put herself to school and she could feed herself. And she took some bad advice. You know, if you want to stay awake and get more energy, take these drugs. And she got addicted. And then it just put her in a spiral. But she was doing a lot of work for other folks. Yeah. It's pretty much selling herself out to make money. Just listening to these people that said that if you did this, things would get better. And she was very upset that that was her history. And I told her, well, why not work for yourself? You seem to be a good worker, and I'm sure you'd be honored to have you working for you. Try that. And she would set goals and tell herself that she needed to accomplish them. Tell herself what to do. And that's something that was always in her. It's just that she was applying it in the wrong area. Instead of applying it to herself, which should have been her number one priority, she was helping other folks out. And deep down inside, it made her feel good when she made her accomplishment. But just think, if you're working for yourself, if you're setting goals and you reach them, how you feel once you reach that goal. And then when you put on that other hat, you go from employee to employer, what would you expect from somebody who works that hard? Would you want that person just to settle down and keep going? Or would you want that person to thrive and become better and improve workplace, safety, goals? And I think you would want yourself to do better. I think you would. I know when I was going into an interview one time, the manager asked me what my goals were, and I said, I want to be in your spot. And for you to tell yourself that, I want to be in your spot. And then I want to help other people get to this spot. And then I want to move to bigger and better things. It's easy to do that. And you just have to apply it. And there's really no... I think the most difficult thing is convincing yourself that you need to do it. And if you have somebody out there that will stand in your corner and help you to reach that goal, you have a better chance of succeeding. A lot of coaches say that if you practice with a partner who has the same drive that you have, you're more likely to succeed. You know, if you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and do a 30-minute workout before going to work, and you have a partner who does the same thing, if you wake up and think, I don't want to get up today, I want to skip it, and your partner gets up, come on, let's go. We don't have a lot of time. We got to get this done and go to work. You'll more likely be able to get yourself to do that. And you won't even be forcing yourself. It'll become natural. You know, every day I ride my bike to work, and at first I'd get up, I don't want to do this. But now it's such a beautiful ride. I enjoy it. And my body is reacting very, very well. I've been doing it for months, and I'm extremely healthy now. And considering I've got a lot of ailments going on in my life, that's quite a goal that I'm happy to accomplish. And I take public transportation, I walk, and I'm reaching my physical goals continuously. And it's something that gives me great comfort, and it's something that I can keep thriving for without any issues at all. So, what I would like the people that I work with to do is to believe in themselves. And I constantly put that out there. Who do you love more than anybody else? And it should be themselves. Because once you love yourself, it's easy to shine that to other people. If you believe you're really good and you can accomplish your goals, prove it. Show people that you can do it. People who are self employed, that's what they do all the time. They make good profit, it's because they work for it. And in America, if you want to succeed, you can't just sit around doing minimum or doing nothing at all. You got to push yourself. You got to set those goals and reach them. And it's something that a lot of people who are locked up just give up on. They have the drive. They have that talent. They just give up on it. Especially those that I deal with who are drug dealers. Oh my goodness, their ability to spend and save money, to balance a budget, to gain a profit. This is something that can be used in the legal world. You don't have to be breaking the law to use those skills. And yeah, it's a little bit harder, and yeah, it may take some time, but it's well worth it in the end. And nobody that's extremely successful that I've worked with did it in just a couple of months. Usually it's over a year, maybe over 2 years. But oh my goodness, to look back on it, to share that story, it's priceless. And so I am definitely proud of Cammie. And I'm proud of the other folks that I've worked with, that when I do go and take a look at the inmate roster for the folks that's locked up in prison, they're not there. And those who do go there, it's pretty much I knew it. And they really didn't work with me. I would say, I want to work with you. Oh, yeah, offer some suggestions and blah, 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 blah. But they wouldn't listen. They just believed in themselves. And most of the people that do listen, it's because they don't trust their decision. They made a decision that got them locked up in the first place. They want to try to find somebody that can give them a better decision. And then they'll usually hook up with folks that use them. Once they get out of that, realize that there's some people that will use me, some people that won't. I need to gravitate toward the people who won't. That's something that could last a lifetime. And when I'm asked why I work with people who are locked up, it's because I don't want to see them locked up. I want to see them get out and succeed. And time again, we have to say, not everybody belongs out here. There are serial killers, serial rapists. There are molesters, people who abuse folks, and people who just can't get away from the drug market. And if they're going to continue to do this getting out, they don't need to be out. But there are people that are sitting in prison and they feel bad about what they did, and they don't want to continue to do that. They want to get out and prove themselves and succeed. And having somebody in their corner is a big plus. It's not a lot of work. All we have to do is listen and share what we learn from other folks and share what we learn from our own life and give them motivation to continue on. It's not up to us to keep them out of prison. It's up to them. And it's very easy to walk away when there are no resources. And one of the biggest resources is supportive relationships. And that's folks that not necessarily been where these people have been, but who learn from these folks. And when you're locked up and you start talking about what I went through in my life and how I ended up over here, and somebody repeats that and talks about the lesson that was learned from that, it shows that somebody listened and that somebody is learning, and that your all the stuff that you've been through can be turned into some good, and it can continue to thrive for generations. So if we want to end crime, if we want to reduce the prison population, we need to help those that are reaching out. And I've run into a lot of people that just kind of con folks, and they're more interested in themselves, and that's going to come with the territory. And what I learned from that is, what were the signs that these people put out that I didn't see? So the next time I'm working with somebody, if I see those signs, talk about it. The last person I worked with that acted this way, that said these things, wound up cheating me, conning me, using me for personal gain. And I'll walk away if this is going to be the case with you. And if folks know they're going to be caught, they're less likely to commit the crime. And they're definitely less likely to con you if they know that you're onto them. And so it causes me to be wiser, me to be a little more observant. So I'm learning. And sometimes there's a big price to pay, but for the most part, education to me, that knowledge buildup, is priceless. I'm willing to go through the challenges to get to it. And I especially want to share it. Well, thanks for listening. I hope you open up conversations with your friends and your family. Let's find places for people who get out of prison, and let's not stand in their way. We can't keep them out of prison, but if we are there, if they need us, and if we don't put them down and make them feel that their crime will always follow them, I think they have a better chance of not going back, and that's what we want. We can't change what has been done, but we can learn from it and we can move on. We can't let yesterday ruin our tomorrow. And we do that today. Well, go out and have yourself a magnificent day and make wonderful memories for tomorrow.